You're listening to Win-Win, an entrepreneurial community with your host, Ben Wolf.
And welcome to Win-Win, an entrepreneurial community. As always, I am your host, Ben Wolf. We are going to talk about today with our very special guest, somebody I know personally, who's a great guy, about what you need to do in your marketing and messaging post-lockdown as you ramp up, what you need to be focusing on and thinking about, and also how to do demos, events, pitches, things which are changing in this post-coronavirus world in a way that is more creative and can engage people more and be more interesting and be more effective with interactive events like whiskey tasting and magic and things that are actually interactive. So we're going to learn about that, which is really cool. I encourage everybody to subscribe to the show on YouTube now that we are on wherever you listen to podcasts, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, wherever it happens to be. Subscribe, please leave a review, follow, whatever the terminology that's used in each place. It will obviously help the content that we're sharing here become more accessible to yourself in the future, and also with their algorithms, make it more accessible to other people. So definitely encourage you to follow, and also the social media accounts of Win-Win, an entrepreneurial community, on LinkedIn, Facebook. You'll get the updates in the future. And also, like I said, algorithms more available to others as well. So with that, I want to get into introducing our guest today. He is the owner and principal at HitState Marketing for over 20 years. HitState helps clients by working with them to develop marketing strategy, clarifying messaging, and then executing on that strategy for you, whether that's through social media, print marketing, mailings, events, video, websites, all sorts of things, whatever way that best marketing strategy needs to be executed. He's been the creative director at a number of organizations during that same period. He actually has a live virtual event showcase coming up tomorrow. That's Tuesday, June 9th at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. We're going to have the registration link in the description of this episode and in the social media postings so you can access that. And I definitely encourage you. It's just 20 minutes. It should be a lot of fun. So it'll give you an idea of the kinds of stuff that you could do with your clients. You can find out more about him at hitstate.com. And with that, I give you Andy Randazzo. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And it's not just 20 minutes. I mean, it is going to be an event. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm promoting it so much, but it's going to be an event unlike anything else that anybody has ever seen. It's going to be a virtual event that is entertaining, exciting, and has a bottom or, ROI at the end. There is a bottom line result that you get out of it. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, and I think that really is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on today. You have that demo or showcase, coming up tomorrow. I think it's unusual. I mean, that's the kind of thing I like. The whole point of this show, and just to reiterate, because I stopped saying it in my intros to the show, but the whole point of this podcast is really to share information and knowledge, which could be of use to business owners of small and mid-sized businesses. Solopreneurs maybe could use it also. Maybe large companies could use it too, but really where the value that I'm trying to share goes is those small and mid-sized businesses post-startup, but before they become giants, And it's a creative thing, it's a unique thing, and we're living in a new world where maybe you used to do events, maybe you used to do seminars, and you can't do those anymore. Or it's going to be much more limited when and how you could do it or with whom. And so how do you do things virtually? It's just one more of 20 Zoom calls that everybody has every day. It's just going to be boring. So it's something that, that can spice that up and make it more interactive and physical is very appealing to me. So that's why I definitely wanted to have you on. But if you could, before we get into, I do want to start off with marketing because that is, in addition to these events, is your expertise. But I really want to give people a little context to where you're coming from and how you came to be speaking about this. If you could just give everybody like a quick 2-minute background on who you are, where you come from, how you get to be doing what you're doing now.
Sure. So HitState, a marketing agency. The simplest way to say marketing, and I know there's so many marketing terms out there. I think I looked it up and I think there's literally 197 different kinds of marketing terms, right? Digital marketing, online marketing, offline marketing, affiliate marketing, LinkedIn marketing. There's so many different kinds of marketing out there, but in its simplest form, it's really how you get your customers to your brand, to your product or service. How do you engage them? That's it. That's what marketing is. So I don't care if it's somebody that's handing out a flyer, or it's a website, or if it's digital, or if it's retargeting, or if it's advertising, billboards. There's so many ways to do it. It gets kind of confusing for the regular business owner, doesn't it? I mean, it just gets confusing. It's like, which one is right for me? Which part of marketing is the kind of marketing that I need for my business, and how do I reach my customers? So that's all marketing really is how do you get from your customer to your product or service? How do you get them there? We started this company in 99. So probably, it's 21 years old, right? But I guess we officially incorporated in 2000. So it's 20 years old. We're celebrating our 20-year anniversary. But yeah, thank you. So that's essentially what marketing is. I started off as a designer years ago, and I went to a School of Visual Arts here in Manhattan, and I was a designer. I designed really cool stuff, album covers and logos and all these great things. But then, I saw a lot of times when I worked with some of the smaller businesses, I saw that, some of the things didn't work. Some of the great designs that we came up with, some of the great ads that we came up with really didn't work. And I was saying, like, why is that? That ad is so amazing. The message is so amazing. Mm-hmm. Why didn't that work? Why didn't it get to the customer? Why didn't it create the results that we wanted? And then it goes into, going backwards and saying, okay, well, did we have the right strategy? Did we have the right this? Did we put it in the right places? Did we market it correctly? And again, marketing is that big global thing that encompasses design and creative and messaging and platforms and, results and strategy. So we really started getting into the why. So whenever a client comes to us now, we always ask why, right? I need a website. I need a direct mail piece. I need a commercial. I need video. People say I need more social. I need to be on LinkedIn. I need to do LinkedIn ads. They keep coming to us with the vehicle, which is so far down the line. It's really, don't even think about the vehicle, but they always come to with the vehicle. And the problem is that if you're coming to me with the vehicle and you have the wrong message, it doesn't matter what vehicle you use, it's going to fall pretty much flat on its face. If you have the right message and the wrong vehicle or platform, then that's going to fall flat on its face. So you need a combination of all these things. And it's really a formula. It's really a step-by-step procedure of how you do these things. You have to start with who you are as a company. Why do you do what you do? Right? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to your family? Why is it important to you that you do this? And then, understand who you may be doing it for. Who are your customers? And why is what you're doing important to them? Always go back to that, that strategy part of it. Then from there, okay, I know I do what I do. I know why I do what I do. I know, why I'm doing it for people or who I'm doing it for. Then you have to say to yourself, okay, so what does it look like? What does it sound like to resonate with my audience? What do I have to do to reach that audience, right? Like, what do I have to say to them to get them to understand where I'm coming from? What does it look like? Does it have some sort of imagery? Is it more graphic? Is it more like on the video side? Like, what does it look like? And what is the creative messaging behind it? Then, we go right into, then we go into the vehicles. Then now we know who we are, who we're talking to. We know what it should look like and what we should say. Then where do you put it, right? And it's, I'm not saying it's not important. It's very important because, how you talk to, let's say, my parents is very different than how you would talk to my 18-year-old daughter, right? So my 18-year-old daughter would probably be Instagram, maybe Snapchat and TikTok. My parents, probably direct mail. I think my dad's still got a computer, but he doesn't use it. They definitely don't have cell phones. So how do you reach those people? It's an audience that you need to reach, right? So that goes into the vehicles. And then, of course, and this is something that people forget quite a bit, is the analytics behind it. Like, did it work? The results. Did it work? Did it not work? The reason why it didn't work could be, those three different reasons. Maybe we don't know who we are. Maybe we don't know our customers. Maybe it was the wrong messaging, or maybe the creative, they didn't like it, didn't resonate with them. Or maybe it was the platform. Maybe it was the right messaging for the right people, but it was on the wrong platform, the wrong place. We were selling cupcakes to people on LinkedIn. I don't know, it's,
Right.
it's, or you're selling.
Right now, like, so, maybe that's a lead in to, the first thing I guess I was hoping we could talk about is what, people are going through certain things right now, right? Your customers, again, some people have B2C, they're marketing to consumers, some people are marketing to other businesses, but people are going through certain very unique things right now with
Very unique.
either still in lockdown or partially coming out of lockdown, or, where they could come up at 50%, or, people are going through different things right now over the next few months.
Right.
What do people, what should I, as a business owner, and if you could give some examples too of like clients you're working with that are in this position now, what should they be thinking about in their messaging, or how they communicate their why, or what value they're bringing to their clients? It's maybe different now than other times, from what you're seeing.
So, we've been telling clients this over the last couple of months, and even today it still holds true. Just for a couple of hours or a day, maybe even at this point, just stop and say, and again, this is, more so a couple of months ago when we first did this, when people really were locked down and they couldn't do anything, right? They couldn't go into their office. They couldn't sell their product and or service. Look at your business and just say, what would I do if I could never go back to my brick and mortar location again? What if I could never see another client again? How could I still function? And you really have to look at that and say to yourself, okay, how do I do that? If I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, service provider, yeah, you could do Zoom calls, you could do sales calls, you could talk to people on the phone. But what if you're brick and mortar? How are you doing that? And there are a number of examples of clients that we're working with and clients that we have worked with that came back and say, what do we do? Like, what am I selling? Where am I selling it? Can I even sell? And all those sorts of things. And I think you still need to look at that today. Look at your business as if, you couldn't open up your brick and mortar. You couldn't meet people face to face. How do you, digitize or virtualize your business so that it could stay in business? And, what we'll talk about later is some of the sales calls that we're doing virtually, right? That's a client that we have, but we have a client who is an esthetician, right? So nobody wants to go into their office in Manhattan.
What is that, like makeup? What does that mean?
An esthetician is just doing facials and massaging the skin, opening up pores, skin peels, things like that. It's more than it's not really makeup. It's really all the all the things treatment that you do before. Yeah, it's like it's all the kinds of skin treatment that you do for your face and skin, things like that.
Yeah, apologize for that.
So no, that's okay. So so what they did was they said, listen, we're not going to see clients for like 3 months. What do we do? So it's either twofold, and it I said, just start off with engaging people. People are at home. Do you know any home remedies that people could do? They can't come into your office. They can't see you. Are there any home remedies? Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I was like, why don't you videotape yourself doing these home remedies and just put it online, put it on social media, put it on, Instagram and Facebook and wherever you see your people, wherever they are, wherever you have your people that have been connecting with you. So she started doing that. So at first it was just engagement, which is great. Engagement is great. Engagement, I think, is everything. But she wasn't really
they don't forget about you,
Yeah. Keep in front of them. They won't forget about you. Then she started doing, people started asking like, yeah, but do you have that product in the office that, I used to get? I want to start using it like on a weekly basis. If I can't see you for a couple of months, I want to start using it. So then she started selling her product and she started packaging it up. Then she started going to each one of her customers and saying, hey, look, I know you did this, this, and this. Here are the products. I'll package them up. I'll send them to you. Yes, of course. Send them to me, send them to me, send them to me. Then she started doing videos.
She's ramping up. So she's ramping up.
Yep. Yeah. Right. And then even she started then, because she had engagement and people were sharing like how you use avocado and honey on your face. Like who would have thought? I'm thinking a salad. She's thinking
Yeah,
like, you know,
sounds
facial.
tasty.
Exactly. So she started sending that out. People started sharing it. Now she has people across the country that were like, wow, that was really cool. Do you have anything else? I heard you're giving out product for, you know, so she started selling product in places that she wouldn't even sell. So
Right.
now it used to be an in-store location, you know, where she was selling product to her customers. Now she's
Right.
giving product
All
across
with
the
all living
country.
within 1 mile of,
Yeah,
of
all within
wherever
a
her
couple,
location
all
was.
within Manhattan area, all within, they were
Yeah.
really all Manhattan clients. But now she's selling product in Wichita. She's selling product in California. She's selling product and giving advice to people. Now she's teaching people where she
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't normally have customers. She's teaching people how to use her product, how to apply the product in these like little tutorials. And she's even selling, she's going to be selling videos of how to apply product, how to have like a 1 week exfoliation. She's teaching like
Mm-hmm.
all these different, so now she's created a series of videos that she's selling along with the product. So
Mm-hmm.
she just like 2x her business from what she was doing before to what she's doing
Wow.
now, just in her online sales from her video. And
Right.
it's crazy. Like that is going to be a business for
It's an
her
interesting
moving forward.
example. Yeah. Right.
It's incredible. So
A total
people really need
revolution.
to, yeah, people really need to stop and just say, okay, how could I do this? What advice do I have that I can give people that that they need from me in the past and in the future? And how do I get it to them if I can't see them in person and I can't see
Right.
them face to face? They can't come to my office. Do it online. Have an online course, and then say to yourself, I mean, everybody from music instructors to dance instructors, things that you would think that would be very in person, probably. And you know what, you give me any business and I'll tell you like how you could do it. Massage. How do you do a massage that you're not
Great
in person,
question.
you don't see the person? There's so many like
I
at
know a
home.
couple of people that are really suffering in that who
Yeah,
have those
there's a lot of
businesses. They have
at
5
home.
locations.
Exactly. There's a lot of like at home remedies that you can do. You tape 2 tennis balls together and you roll it on your back and forth. I mean, like the silliest things that you would think that some people may know, a lot of people don't. And it's like, all right, how do I treat myself using your videos, your techniques? And then you're getting engagement, but then you're also, you know, maybe selling a product to them. Like, here's an hour guide of what you need to do to stretch for back relief, right? And you're teaching them this guide via video. Maybe it's a webinar or something that they can download and print out and look at. So I challenge anyone to give me a business and say, I can't do this in person. You know, like it has to be an in-person thing. I can't do it online. I can't do it via video, because I'll give you a way that you can, at the very least, engage with them to the point where they do come back when things do come back to
Right.
normal, which I don't think there is going to be an exact normal of
Yeah.
way
Or at
the way
least
we
not like
do
it
it
was
post.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's everything's going to be really different. I think everyone needs to look at their business differently.
Right. That it sounds really good. I mean, look, people do want to challenge, if they want to take you up on that challenge, hitstate.com, reach out to Andy. You can
Yeah.
take him
No,
up on the
challenge me.
Andy challenge.
It's the Andy challenge. Challenge me.
Get into that conversation. Um, the the other thing I wanted to get into, which makes a lot of sense, and I guess another one of these ways that things are changing is that you maybe used to do events, seminars, lectures, get-togethers, speakers, panelists, whatever it happens to be, or just in-person pitches, sales pitches, meeting with people in their conference room, or even things you might have done by phone, but now could be done maybe in a better way because people are just more open to this now. I do so many more Zoom calls, by the way, with people I had calls with before, and we just did calls. But now we're scheduling it. You know what? I'm on Zoom all day anyway. Let's make it a video call, even though we usually do only
Right.
audio.
Right.
Which is interesting. So people are getting more open to that, even where maybe you did do pitches by phone before. Maybe it could be an upgrade now. You have this thing that you're doing with people to do kind of like events, interactive events, things that involve a physical element, not just watching another 10th Zoom of the day.
Right.
So
Right.
tell me about
So
these programs. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
but let me go back to pitches, because if you used to pitch, we're in the New York area. So if you used to pitch people in the New York area, how do you pitch somebody in California? How do you reach somebody in, I love using Wichita just because I love the name, but how do you pitch somebody in Wichita? Just think about like
Sheboygan.
being able to pitch somebody virtually, right? And being able to pitch anybody throughout the country. Forget about that, the world.
Yeah.
You can reach those people. And
And
this
now
was
they're
always the
maybe more
case.
open to it than they would be than they
They're
would have
more
been
open to
before.
it now because they were forced into it, right? They were
Right.
forced into it because of the situation, right? I was doing video calls with my brother. I was living in California at the time. I was doing video calls with my brother back in 1998. So this is nothing new. I mean, yeah, we were doing video calls. I think it was through Yahoo Chat. They had a video feature, and if you
Wow.
got the camera and you sunk it up and downloaded all these things and plugged things in, it was a process. And it was really bad. I mean, it was just like,
I'm sure.
freeze frame like every minute. But nevertheless, we
Right.
were like, well, this is so cool, It's been around for years, but now I think people, like you said, people are getting used to it and have become accustomed to it because they were forced into it. And I think it's a reevaluating of your business and how do you do it virtually, because you can capture a huger market with your your product and or service uh,
Mhm.
to
Right.
anybody in the country and anybody in the world. And if you can capture that audience, like, why not? People are so used to doing Zoom calls and meeting people like this um, lately that it's okay to do that, right? So I think people really need to look at, like, why can't we pitch somebody in Wichita? Why can't we pitch
Mhm.
somebody somewhere else? And with it, whatever business that you have.
So what about this interactive concept? These events, like this webinar you're doing tomorrow with magic, with other things. Tell me
Right.
about that. Like to me
Sure.
that's a very intriguing concept because it, again, it could differentiate the meeting, the pitch, the presentation,
Right.
the event that you're doing with with whoever you're doing it with. It could differentiate it from the 10 other Zooms they have every day or webinars, right? So
Oh.
so that's what, I guess that's what really intrigues me. So like, what's this concept? What can people do?
So, so we've been doing live events. We were doing them up until about, I guess, December. I think we were going to take a little bit of a break because it's a lot of work. Doing a
Hmm.
live event is
Yeah.
a lot of work and it's a lot of money, right? It takes a lot of like working. You got to set up, you got to put up projectors and all that in person. And I'm not saying that you can't do live events right now. Obviously, you can't. We can. I love live events, but we had to shift, and I hate shift and pivot and terms that have been so overused, but we really had to go, okay, you know what, we can't do live events, but we did live events and they were fun. We did this wine and cheese tasting pairing and how it relates to marketing. Sounds crazy, I know. Wine and cheese, and how does it relate to, and chocolate too. Don't forget the chocolate. Chocolate is very important
Okay.
doing the tasting. So we did this event, wine, cheese, chocolate pairing, and how it relates to marketing, right?
Okay.
An email campaign is like a piece of cheese, and an ad is like a piece of chocolate, and the wine is your landing page. And we did it so that it was fun, it was interesting, it was entertaining. People got a lot out of it in terms of marketing. Like, I get it. It goes from the ad,
Right.
from the ad or the email, and then it goes into the landing page, and then it goes into the sale page, just like a piece of cheese and a piece of wine, some wine and chocolate, and how they pair together, right? So we made it really simple and really fun to do. So, when we were doing and that was a live event that we had, and it was great. So we were saying, like, okay, now we can't, because of this, situation that we're in, we can't do those events. How can we do them? And we saw all these Zoom calls and we were like, God, this is really boring. Like, this really is like horrendous. Like what's entertaining about it? What's fun about it? You sit on the call, you see other people's faces, which is great because everyone was on lockdown and you're seeing everybody. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way of like entertaining people, not for the sake of just entertaining people, but entertaining people and educating people in the same way. Like, make it fun, make it interesting, make it entertaining. So we started saying, okay, like events, how do we do events that are better? Let's do an event with this. Let's do an event. And we were thinking about all these things, and we can't just throw it in there, but we have to like sync it up with the topic, with the client and their product or service. Like, how do you sync it up? So for a couple of clients, we said, hey, let's who are your customers and who are they, and what do they like? What do they like? We used to take, we have this one client that used to take their clients, their sales clients to baseball games, and they would take them out to dinner, like, steak dinners in Manhattan, and they used to take them out for drinks, and they used to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on just a few people. So we were like, how can we bring that experience to their audience? And we were thinking, well, all the different ways. Like, what about whiskey? A lot of their clients are into whiskey, and they talk about whiskey all the time. Some of them were into like barbecue. Like, how do you barbecue? Like, how do you differentiate a brisket? Yeah, a brisket from from a steak, and how do you cook them, and all these different things. And we started saying, why don't we just do that? Why don't we have like an event that we get somebody from the barbecue place that can't open up, and they could do us a walkthrough of like, how do you cure meat? What kind of rub do you put on it? What kind of sauces? What's the difference between Texas barbecue and Tennessee barbecue? Because there's a difference apparently, right? So there's so many different things. So we did this event with this client where it was a barbecue event. We sent each one of their sales prospects, we sent them rubs and sauces, right? And what they did is we got somebody from the barbecue place to teach them how to cure your meat, what kind of meat you should get, what kind of cut you should get, how long you should cook it for, and all the things.
Mail order meat places. The truth is, you can send people meat too.
And we used some of those mail order meat places to get them meat if they wanted to do this themselves. We gave them also a coupon. I think it was like a $50 coupon to get meat from these places. So we sent them rubs and sauces, and we taught them how to do it. But in the beginning of the event, we were talking about, thank you so much for coming. I mean, again, we wrote out a whole outline of how they should run the event from start to finish. Right. And it was just like an in-person event. We also did one for whiskey tasting, and we're doing one for a magic event. But we're also having a magic showcase to show people what an event like this would look like. And we're having it, like you said, we're having it tomorrow. And it will be.
And if people register, there's actually a download of something that you're supposed to physically print out.
We're
not mailing something.
We have a magician. Right. And there's a trick. So the magic event that we're doing for a client, the client happens to be in cybersecurity. So in cybersecurity, there are some things that you see and some things that you don't see, just like in magic, right? So there's going to be some downloaded, virtual things that we'll be able to do with them in person, where they download things and they rip things up. And, we're also sending like playing cards to some clients so that they can play along with the magic. But again, it always relates. It's not just we're not putting,
it relates to their message, to their what they need to say.
Yeah. And that's the marketing connection to it all, right? So it can't just be, oh, listen, we're gonna show somebody that's gonna do a song and dance for you, right? Because you might as well turn on the TV and do it. But it's something that relates to the client, it relates to their product and service, and it relates to the entertainment that we're providing for them, right? So a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to see magic, or yeah, I want to learn how to cook a steak because I don't know how to. And yeah, I would love to learn a little bit more about whiskey. I would love a professional to teach me how to do that. And then, there's a little bit of sales in the beginning. The reason why we're teaching you about this, the reason why we're talking to you about this is for these reasons. Again, there's some things you see and some things you don't see in cybersecurity. And we're relating, and we're even customizing some of the tricks. We're customizing the playing cards with the company's logo on it. We're customizing some of the tricks with, different terms in their business with that particular trick. So, these events are awesome, and what happens is, not that it's entertaining, it's fun, it's educational, but the client is realizing, wow, we can talk to people in areas that we don't service. We can capture the California market, the Texas market. We can capture all these different markets, and we're here in New York. We can capture all these different markets if we just tell people about this event. We're going to get a ton of people. So this one client has over 100 people registered for their event. They had to change their, I think we're using Zoom. They had to change their Zoom subscription to go over 100
to the 1,000-person, subscription.
And typically they would spend, like $5,000 or $6,000, just to get 10 people in a room, and talk to them about, their product and service, So now they're talking to like probably 130 they're looking at, probably about 130 different people at this magic event that we're going to be doing. And it's for them, they're saying like the response that they're getting, and they haven't even had the event. The response that they're getting is incredible. And, some of the, promotions that we're putting out there with some of the magic tricks, they're like, what, intrigued, and it's not just the event, it's the promotion of the event. It's getting people excited about, seeing your product and or service, but on a bigger scale, which is really, really cool.
That is really cool. And again, that's what, it's just really interesting to me. Again, people can do this 20-minute Zoom, magic is marketing, or marketing is magic. Sorry, showcase tomorrow, 20 minutes. It's not long. You can register, again, it's in the description, and get in touch with Andy via hitstate.com. If you want to talk about this for yourself, or, any ideas that you have coming up. But yeah, I love the physical aspect of it. I love the interactiveness of it, or the the customization to your business. And obviously, it does cost less than doing an in-person event.
That's another thing. It's like the cost itself is 10 times less than they would do meeting people face to face. Imagine 100 people, right? You're trying to connect with 100 people. You buy them dinner. Maybe it's $100 in the city, probably a little bit more. You take them out to a baseball game, maybe, good, better seats, maybe like 50, 60, $100, right, for a ticket. You multiply that times 200 people, you're talking in like the tens of thousands of dollars, throw in a couple of drinks, and it's crazy. So they're spending less money, they're getting more engagement, and they're casting a wider net and capturing so many more prospects. And it's a win-win.
It's differentiated. It sounds like it's such a different experience. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow also. And it's just such a different experience than what they're mostly doing. So it really will stand out in their, in their mind, and have a better, more positive experience. And it just sounds really cool. So that's why I'm happy to talk this up and tell people about this option, which they may not have ever heard of.
I say so many more people are going to be doing it, because you can't meet face to face. And even if you can, who wants to? There's probably going to be a lesser pool right now of people that are going to want to. And again, you're spending less money, you're getting more engagement, and you're attracting people that you wouldn't have even thought of before. Right. Who knew that they would be selling, clients in like Singapore, or like another country. They're just like, this is like a game changer for us. And it's something that they're going to be doing and using moving forward as part of their business and sales team. 100%. It's nothing that's going to go away. They're going to be using this all the time. They're just like, they're floored.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Again, check out the description, social media posts for the registration link for the webinar. If you're listening to this after 12 noon on June 9th. And again, just get in touch with Andy Randazzo at hitstate.com. And look, it's good information. It's highly, highly relevant, and it's something that's really novel, I think. So I'm glad you're able to come on and share about this.
And then we'll probably have the video. Not probably. We will have the video on our website somewhere, so you can see how it happened. Great. But there's nothing
so hitstate.com for that, even if it's after June.
Yeah. But there's nothing going to be like actually being there, because we're going to be choosing people in the audience, and we're going to be doing tricks with them. And that's, we're making it very, very virtual. We're making it very like engaging, interactive audience, like right there, which is very cool.
Well, I do look forward to it. I like the fact that it's short also, even though, which maybe I'll want it to be longer once we get there.
I'm telling you, you're going to want it to be longer. It's going to be a lot of fun. The guy's doing magic.
But most people, most web, you sign up for webinars. Usually, they're like, it's an hour. It's a big
big and then you got to hear about somebody's product. You got to hear.
Here's like 1/3 the length of that. That's
if I'm more entertained, and that's why in accounting, when they have the write-offs for a business, there's meals and entertainment. We're the entertainment part, right? Sit down, grab a sandwich. We're the entertainment part, because it's a complete write-off, because that's what it is. It's entertaining a client to just, at the very least, just hear what you have to say. How else do you get people to hear what you have to say?
Right. So is it T&E or is it marketing? I guess we'll have to figure that out later. We'll have to let the accountant sort that out. But thank you very much, Andy. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you coming on.
Sure, no problem. Anytime.
All right, awesome, and we'll see everybody else on the other side. Thank you.
You're listening to Win-Win, an entrepreneurial community with your host, Ben Wolf.